Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for joining us as you do each and every day of the week, and on our social media on YouTube at Civic Center TV and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. I'm Tyler Kieft, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, happy to be back with you again today to go through the latest in the greater West Bloomfield communities.
Tyler Keith, happy to be here. Thank you again, man. Another day, another opportunity, man. Don't want to take it for granted. We got a lot to talk about per usual, but I'm excited, man. Some good things going on.
Yeah, lots of good things going on across our community. Last night we were out at West Bloomfield High School as the class of 2024 began its final farewell in the community, and this may be one of the most accomplished classes at West Bloomfield High School, perhaps ever, Kevin. Take a look at this moment when they revealed the class of 2024's scholarship earnings last night.
The Sunshine Award was initiated in 1980.
Let us now take a moment to congratulate so much hard work. We are so grateful.
And there it is, that moment, $14 million in scholarships earned by this community this year at West Bloomfield High School, the class of 2024. A staggering number, Kevin. We've seen some pretty big numbers in years past that have been in those 9 figures, but 10 figures from the class of 2024. And we had another moment kind of similar to that later on. We don't have a clip of that at the moment we're going to show today, but when they were reading their summa cum laude awardees, who were, of course, are people that have earned 4.0 or higher GPAs. It felt like that went on for well over a minute. A lot of academic excellence in this class.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see that the children, the students there at West Bloomfield High School, well accomplished. I was just fortunate enough to kind of jump into things, meet some of the student athletes while they were accomplishing great things throughout the season, man. So, just a few times that I did get to visit West Bloomfield High School and meet some of the seniors, man. Great stand-up kids, and I'm excited for the next level and the next chapter in all of their lives, Tyler.
Another great moment, Kevin, at the honors convocation was kind of going off the beaten path. Of course, the night is supposed to be about honoring the many academic accomplishments and even athletic accomplishments, extracurricular accomplishments of the class of 2024. But West Bloomfield High School, as they do each and every year with their Sunshine Award, which is always at the top of the show, recognizing the incoming seniors as well.
The Sunshine Award was initiated in 1988 in honor of Jill Friedman. Jill was a West Bloomfield High School graduate whose life was unfortunately cut short by leukemia. Dr. Lawrence Friedman's family wished to initiate this award in honor of their daughter, who passed away in 1987. This award recognizes outstanding incoming seniors who possess a number of positive personal qualities. This award is separate from other awards that honor academic achievement. The intention of this award is to recognize students who have a sense of decency, a positive attitude, a zest for life, and that know the true value of strong friendships. These are all qualities which Jill herself embodied. So if you could, please join me in congratulating the 2024 Class of 2025 Sunshine Award recipients, Brady Scheidt and Sarah Lauerman.
Some very nice words for both Brady and for Sarah, setting a great example for the class of 2024. Take a look at them as they received their Sunshine Award at last night's West Bloomfield High School Class of 2024 Honors Convocation. A really impressive group, not only going out from West Bloomfield High School, Kevin, but also coming in.
Congratulations to Brady and Sarah. I know that has to be a great honor to receive. I don't know too much about it, but it seems like it's dedicated to certain students who not only just, reflect great values of the school, but also just show great characters in themselves, man. So that's just good to see. It's good to know and find out more things that they're doing to honor the students at West Bloomfield High School. Well deserved.
Yes, indeed. And you can find the full event on our website on demand as we speak, civiccentertv.com/honors24. Watch the entire event. You can learn about even more students and their immense academic achievements and follow along with them. We'll also have live coverage coming up 1 week from that event. Last night, of course, Wednesday night was Honors Convocation. Next week, Wednesday, live, 6 o'clock, is their graduation commencement, where we'll hear even more from the class of 2024. And, of course, West Bloomfield will say goodbye to once again another excellent class coming out of WB. Also part of that academic excellence and athletic excellence, our girls basketball team, of course, won the state championship just a couple of months ago in East Lansing. And last night and earlier this week, they made it official, dropping their championship banner in the gym at West Bloomfield High School. Calvin, if we can pull that clip up of them with the banner. We should have that, Calvin. If you have that for us, it would be in their high school gym. Let me know in my ear. There we go. There's the clip. Here we go. Them dropping the banner. We'll repeat that. Coach McAllister back up on the lift. And there it is. The second championship banner for the West Bloomfield Lakers girls varsity basketball team in just 3 seasons. And the other time, when they didn't drop a banner for a championship, they were the runner-up, Kevin. A really great accomplishment for them. Again, being recognized, and now they make it official. You raise that trophy, it's one thing. You drop the banner, it's there forever.
Tyler, oh my God. Tears of joy, man. Tears of joy, man. I was happy to be along for the ride. Oh, what a good see. I only caught the tail end of it, but it was so good to be there. It's etched in stone. They could forever come back, look up, and see that banner was part of theirs. Where's the rings, man? They deserve the rings. Congratulations to the West Bloomfield girls, Lakers, on the championship. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm still jealous of the person at Bally Sports that got to call India Davis's game-tying three-pointer in the semifinal. That's a play-by-play moment you dream of. And, of course, a dream for India and her teammates as well, all of whom were recognized on Monday night at the West Bloomfield School District Board of Education meeting. Deborah Evans from the school board and so many others had very nice things to say about not only their achievements on, but also off the court. Here's a little bit of what they had to say.
On the court, the Lakers demonstrated unparalleled talent, securing the Division I state championship for the second time in 3 years. Their journey to the title game was marked by unforgettable moments, including senior India Davis game-changing three-pointer at the regulation buzzer. In a thrilling overtime victory against the Rockford Rams, they paved their way to glory. Their triumph is the championship game against Grand Blanc with a resounding 60-30 victory. I think that's just a stump on, I don't know. Showcase their dominance with consistency throughout the season. With this win, the Lakers clinched their second Division I women's basketball state championship in 3 years, cementing their status as a powerhouse in high school basketball.
There they are, the team. Many of the upperclassmen team that was laden with seniors this year, recognized at the school board meeting. Got a chance to not only have their names once again called by the board and recognized for their achievements, but shake their hands, get a great round of applause, and that's just hours after they raised that banner.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, once again, like I said, I love to see that they're being recognized. This is something that will be part of their life forever, man. Forever. We already know high school, you have so many memories, you meet so many friends, but then you go through the battle of being a student athlete and getting all the way to the championship, the mountaintop, the peak, and then you actually get it. Like I feel very proud, and I wasn't even part of the team. So once again, congratulations to West Bloomfield, the Lakers, the women's basketball team in general.
Continuing to make our community proud, not only on the court, but off the court also, once again, achieving the title of academic all-state from the MHSAA, the team averaging over a 3.25 collective GPA, also recognized at the school board meeting. West Bloomfield Parks is encouraging you to continue to live a greener and more sustainable lifestyle. Their monthly Green Dream initiative provides some advice every single month that you can employ in your day-to-day life to help our local ecosystem and the environment in general. For May of 2024, that Green Dream, of course, all surrounds planting and supporting native plant life. Now, this particular advice they provided this week is encouraging you to participate in their garlic mustard polls. Kevin, garlic mustard is an invasive species in our local area that spreads quickly and outcompetes many of the native plants that are critical to our local ecosystem. So when you participate in these polls, you're supporting those native plants, living that green dream, and you're learning about some of our other invasive species from experts in their naturalists department at West Bloomfield Parks, and meeting some new people in the community also for volunteerism. We've recently shown many of these pictures of the garlic mustard polls with adults, with some of the students from our local schools who've taken field trips out there. It's a great opportunity for people to learn about our local environment and participate in a good cause that supports our local ecosystem.
No, two responses. One, if I'm being serious, all right, that is a great thing. You want to go in there, pull out the plants that you feel like may be harmful to your other plants in the ecosystem. And it's good to learn more about that. What's good for us, what's not good for us, what we should touch, what we shouldn't touch. Now, on the childish side of things, garlic mustard sounds very good, like it belongs on my Philly cheesesteak, Tyler. So it's going to be hard to convince me that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, and what they should really call is like monster plant or something intimidating that nobody likes. Garlic mustard. Look, I'm fine with garlic. I like mustard as a friend. It sounds inviting, not invasive. It's like when we name hurricanes and we give them pleasant human names. No. We need to call it like Hurricane Death Match or something, so that we really take it seriously. Same thing here. But hey, look, I'll take that up with our friends at West Bloomfield Parks the next time I participate in one of their garlic mustard polls. You can learn more about those events and how you can participate right now. Find more information on wbparks.org or join them over on Facebook at WB Parks. That's exactly what our own Peyton Skyver did earlier on this week. A member of the Parks team over there, one of their commissioners, Sally Wenzel, who happens to be a bit of a native plant expert herself, was joined by many others from throughout the community to learn about not only how we can take our native plant life and incorporate it into our diet and into our day-to-day life, but also how we can turn those invasive species into something useful and tasty.
As summertime rolls around and it's time to begin working on those lawns, the weeds you find around your house can actually be put to use in some unique ways. Here at the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Activity Center, Sally Wenzel is teaching an unlawning class where residents can come to learn how to maintain a chemical-free lawn, how to use commonly found plants to make some tasty snacks, and more about the native plant species here in the community.
We had a wild edible foraging class, and these are invasive species or weeds, troublesome plants, as I like to call them, or what they're defined as. Also, some native plants. We discussed how to unlawn or kill your grass to plant more beneficial plants for the environment, and also just to use what's there. Even though we have these invasive species like ground ivy and dandelion, we discussed how are these medicinal? What can we use to make your home habitat a safe, chemical-free place that is usable and beneficial for the birds and the bees and the butterflies and you as a human. It's healthy for you. I'm a big supporter of native plants, and we covered where you can go to find native plants. Parks and Rec, West Bloomfield Parks has a native plant sale every spring. Wild Type has their native plant sale coming up this Saturday. I know Plants for Ecology has one coming up in a couple weeks. There are native nurseries and plant sales all over in the spring and in the fall.
Native plants are basically the building blocks of our ecosystem. We've kind of turned our lawns into this green wasteland. It doesn't really support wildlife or any biodiversity, our lawn. So by adding native plants, we really support our pollinators. And selfishly, so pollinators like bees and butterflies and other animals, every 1 out of 3 bites of food you take is made by a pollinator. And so we need them around, and so does the ecosystem. We are always all about inspiration and a little bit of education as well. So we plant different native plant gardens here as demonstrations just to show people what glorious blooms they can have, as well as how many amazing animals they can attract for you to view. So many different beautiful butterflies are native to our area. If you plant the right plants, they will come and you get the joy of getting to watch them. So just becoming like little scientists in your own yard, and the more you learn, the more you're going to want to tell others about it. So we just like spreading the word that planting native and going chemical free is great for our city, great for our township, great for our earth, and great for those that are getting to enjoy it as well by planting them themselves.
Not everybody can afford to just completely do a full makeover job on their whole yard and plant all native plants. I mean, it can be costly to re-landscape everything. But to see your yard as something useful and use those invasive weeds until you can slowly chip away and plant your native plants. Go chemical free. Use what's there. See your yard as productive. These are things that we focused on today.
It is clear that allowing these common found plants to grow in your yard can not only be beneficial to the environment, but can also be very tasty. As you're spending time outside this summer, take a look around and see if you could put any of these tips to use. With Civic Center TV, I'm Peyton Skyver.
Great report, Peyton. Thank you for that. And really cool information from Sally and from the other experts that she brought in to teach people about ways they can put some of those plants that are around their yard, around their lawn, maybe plants you don't want to be there, still put it to use, not just take them and throw them into a landfill and get rid of them and ultimately probably inspire some invasive species in that landfill eventually down the road. Put them to use and get rid of them in your yard without using all those chemicals that, of course, get into our waterways and can affect not only our lawns and our neighbors' lawns and our communities, but also neighboring communities as well.
Thank you to Sally Winskill, too. She was on the Splash Live earlier in a previous episode. And she ate some plants and leaves and stuff live on Civic Center TV. We do have that on civiccentertv.com, by the way. But she was just informing us of the different uses, the medicinal benefits. These aren't just bad plants or weeds like we call it. She even made dandelion jam, man. So I love that she's opening up our eyes to a new perspective, that looking at these plants in a different way. So it's nature, it's natural, it's coming from the ground. I can understand us finding some ways to use it. So good interview, good story too, Peyton.
Yeah, a lot of bad things that come from invasive species, but here, some good things happening with these invasive species, and that all being taught right out of Greater West Bloomfield. As we think about this time of the year, a lot of us are going to be out and about having some fun. Memorial Day weekend's coming up. Maybe you're going to be out on the water. You're going to be traveling around town. People are going to be having their fun. And look, sometimes situations happen and emergencies pop up, but the Keego Harbor Police Department reminding people this week that 911 is only for those absolute bona fide emergencies. You got to know the difference between when you should call 911 and when you should simply call the non-emergency number. On their Facebook page at Keego Police just yesterday, they posted a reminder of that, stating that for police, fire, or medical emergencies, or an in-progress emergency event, maybe it's a home invasion, or you're witnessing a robbery from a distance, or there's maybe some incident with a couple of people that are maybe in a shouting match or a shoving match or something of that kind that may be a disturbance to the public or put somebody in danger, that is an emergency. That you should call 911 and report for. However, in some other cases, people will call 911 because they don't know what other number to call when they want to file a police report or request to meet up with an officer or talk about something that maybe isn't an immediate emergency. They just need some emergency services to be at their side to help them through. For that, you want to call the non-emergency phone number. And Kevin, that is the same phone number for all 4 of our greater West Bloomfield communities, all of whom get their dispatch through the West Bloomfield Police Department. We'll put that number up there if we get a moment. 248-975-9200 is the non-emergency number for the West Bloomfield Police Department, and that covers dispatch for all 4 of our communities. So if somebody in Orchard Lake has a situation that they're calling the non-emergency number, they need to meet with a local police officer, they can call that number, they'll get West Bloomfield dispatch, and ultimately they'll get an officer sent to them or get in communication with the Orchard Lake Police Department. Same for Keego Harbor and same for Sylvan Lake. And Kevin, as we head into Memorial Day weekend, really important that we keep in mind both of these bits and pieces of information because, look, people are going to have a good time, but a little bit of extra noise, that's not an emergency. If somebody's maybe burnt themselves on the grill and they need some medical assistance, probably a reason to call 911.
Right. No, Tyler, my initial reactions when you brought this topic up, I was wondering, I was like, is this a real topic? We're talking about people calling 911 for non-emergency? But life is about perspective, right? Once you brought it to the perspective of some people literally don't know the non-emergency line. How many people literally know that or have that in their phone? Not too many people do. We've been drilled with 911 since elementary school and associating that with police and first responders. So I get it. So yes, that is something to have, especially as we enter in a busy season, in the summer season. I can see a bunch of different things going on and people calling for no reason. 248-975-9200. 248-975-9200. Let's make that simple to remember also.
Yeah, it is. And that is, again, the non-emergency number for all 4 of our communities, which get their dispatch for police, fire, and EMS through the West Bloomfield Police Department 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're in Keego Harbor and you want to get even more details, or even if you're not in Keego Harbor and want to learn more about the difference between an emergency and a non-emergency for calling 911, or that non-emergency number at 248-975-9200. Visit the Facebook page of the Keego Harbor Police Department at Keego Police. Kevin, also this time of the year, we're getting ready for a big election, not only in November, but the primaries coming up just a couple of months away as well. And for some communities, they'll have some elections in between. New ways to vote, new ways to register to vote, new opportunities for people to have their voices heard. And with a lot of information out there, it's good that we get some clarification from our local clerks.
Yeah, absolutely, Tyler. It's the season already. I'm starting to see these commercials where people are getting attacked and pointing fingers at each side, left side, right side. I like to stay out of that. But this is why we are talking about our local elections here and how they are ran and operated. And that's why joining us here on the Splash Live right now, West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder is here to tell us a little bit more about election season and how things are ran from her perspective. So first off, Debbie, let's just go through the difference between the permanent absentee ballot list and the absentee voter application list.
Okay, so we have had for many years, the permanent absent voter application list, which meant that our voters received an application for every election that if they had signed up to be on that list, they received an application for every election they were eligible to vote in. And if they returned it, we sent them a ballot. Beginning after 2022, voters were able to sign up to be on the permanent absentee ballot list, which means they will receive a ballot for every election they're eligible to vote in. So that's a significant change. They don't have to fill out an application. That ballot will show up in the mail if they've requested to be on that list. Over the next, we don't know how long of a period of time, they will be phasing out that application list as more people do engage on that permanent ballot list. Right now, to give you an idea, we have about 13,000 voters on the permanent ballot list and almost an equal number on the permanent application list. But as we have more and more using that permanent ballot list, you're going to see that application list go away. One thing, though, that has changed also is voters are now able to vote that absentee ballot at their precinct on election day or at the early voting center, which is also new, that begins 9 days, essentially 9 days before an election. It actually begins the Saturday, the weekend prior, 2 weeks prior to the election, and continues through the Sunday before the election. So they have 9 days of early voting. They can either come vote early in the early voting center, or they may actually bring that absentee ballot that they've received and vote it in the the early voting center, or bring it to their precinct on election day. And another change, and I guess a reason that is a nice feature, is that if they make a mistake on their absentee ballot, they're able to, when they would feed it through the tabulator, it will actually catch the mistake and allow them to spoil that ballot and receive a new one. This August election is a good example. This is a primary election where people have to stay in one lane or down one side of the ballot along one party. People will tend to cross over into the other lane for a candidate, which would spoil their partisan section. However, if they actually vote that ballot in an early voting center or at a precinct, it will let them know that they voted over, that they've crossed lanes, and they'll get to vote a new ballot. Whereas if they turn it in as an absentee ballot, it would actually just have the partisan section not count.
Wow. Mouthful, but thank you for the information, Debbie. A lot to consume, but essentially I want to kind of recap that if I'm understanding this correct. So the permanent absentee ballot list is a list you can join, and once you join it, essentially you don't have to fill out an application. They're going to send you the absentee ballots automatically every election season. But the absentee voter application list is something that you would basically apply for or join so that you can get an application to get the absentee ballot. Is that correct?
You have it correct, but we do know that it was perfect. You really actually caught on beautifully. Yeah. But what we don't know is when they're going to phase out that application list. They don't have a timeline for that yet. So people will have to start watching when the election is as they phase out that application list, because that application kind of served as notice, and they won't get that application now unless they're on the permanent ballot list where they receive the ballot.
Wow. So if they did want to join the permanent absentee ballot list after that absentee voter application list was phased out, how would they do that? Is there any opportunity to? They go directly to West Bloomfield Township?
They do have to do it in writing. So on the application that everyone is getting that's currently on that permanent application list, there's a box to check to receive a ballot in the future. If they check that box, then they'll be moved over to the permanent ballot list. If they're not on that list already and they do wish to be on, they just need to request in my office in writing, or actually make it even easier. They can go online and request to be on the permanent ballot list, and there they will use the signature for their driver's license.
There you go. Yep. Okay, that's the information that I wanted right there.
That's your generation's information we need to make sure they have.
That is true. I got to admit, yes, that is true. Join us here on the Splash Live, giving us all the information that we need right here in our community. West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder, just catching us up on early voting, absentee ballots, permanent absentee ballot lists, and things of that nature. Different changes going on. One thing I do want to pick your brain about, this is a little bit off the record, I guess you could say. I know that you manage the different licensing and permits here in the area. With the summertime coming and things of that nature, people who are interested in maybe hosting a block party or doing something where they would require a permit or some of that nature. Can you just explain that process, please?
Okay, there is a process if somebody is looking to receive what's called an outdoor gathering permit. But an outdoor gathering permit is if they know that they're going to have over 300 people within a 24-hour period. So if someone's having a small block party, there is likely not a need to get an outdoor gathering permit. And the other ones that would sometimes go along with that is a road closure permit. In a township, our roads are all owned by Oakland County. So in order to close any kind of a road, it has to go through Oakland County. And part of their application process requires a permit from the township board, where the township board says, we're okay with this, or we aren't. And then the county makes their decision based on what the board also will state. But we don't have a lot of those. An example would be like our art fair, which is definitely a gathering with well over 300 people. They receive both an outdoor gathering permit and a road closure permit. And there's a whole process for that. When someone applies for those permits, we have to send that out to every department to do an inspection, receive it back in order to take it to the township board for approval. So anybody who is considering a large event, I think you need to allow at least 60 days, and 90 days is probably better.
Completely understand. Thank you so much again for joining us. Debbie Binder, West Bloomfield Township Clerk, just talking about permits, talking about the election season, voter absentee ballots, lists, and things of that nature. A lot of information to consume. If you are interested, want to find out more, you can visit the website, wbtownship.org. Tyler, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to election season as we start to go into the major election later on in the year, but then we got local elections. It's good to know everything that's going to be involved with those type of events.
Yeah, we know when the primaries come around in August, it's also going to involve a really big bond issue in the West Bloomfield area for West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Activity Center. That also has some major implications. So a lot of big issues on the ballot coming up in these next couple of elections as we go through the 2024 cycle. All the more reason to keep up to date with your local clerk's office. You can also follow them on Facebook at West Bloomfield Clerk's Office for even more information. Kevin, we've taken a lot of time of late to recognize volunteerism in our community, whether it's our kids and their volunteerism, as we did a few weeks back at the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance Youth Recognition Awards, or shortly after that at the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast. We recognize and appreciate our volunteers all throughout the year, including our Rotarians, the members of the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield. Joining us now on the program is one of their most active members, Ike Engelbaum, is going to be with us. He participates in so many, if not all, of their West Bloomfield Rotary events and spearheads many of their projects surrounding environmental cleanup and fundraisers for youth programs like music appreciation and so much more. Ike, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. And we know you've been involved with the Rotary Club for a number of years here in West Bloomfield. How did you first get involved with Rotary?
Well, actually, as they say, there are certain things in life that are coincidental. And ironically enough, it's almost 50 years ago that I started the Entrepreneurs Network of Michigan. And the mission that I had was to help people achieve their goals. And then along comes the Rotary Club, and Paul Harris, who started the organization in 1905, had that vision. So all of a sudden, two visions got together, and I'm a firm believer that one person can do so much if you surround yourself with positive-minded people. And Dr. Ashok Gupta, who is a very prominent physician, has been president of different Rotary clubs, invited me when he was the president of the Auburn Hills Rotary Club. Hey, Ike, we need people that join in spreading the word about how we can help each other in achieving our goals. So we have mutual goals, and since then it's really been a delight to be able to see what we can do. The Rotary Club, interestingly enough, was started by Paul Harris in Chicago, who said that why don't we get professionals together so that we can service the community? And that is the motto, service above all. And a fun fact that you might appreciate,
Sure.
Guess what the first project was to help the community in Chicago was installing public toilets throughout Chicago.
Interesting.
You talk about starting at the bottom. There you go.
Absolutely, Ike. That is quite the way to start off. And a big legacy came out of that expands far beyond Chicago and is now in our local area as well. And the local Rotary Club has a number of different initiatives that they're employing all throughout the year to help our community in a variety of different ways. Some of the ones that we know are important to you are environmental cleanup and music appreciation. Let's begin with the environmental cleanup and some of the efforts that go into organizing that. What outcomes have come from these efforts that you've participated in over the years with Rotary in our local community?
Well, I mean, obviously cleanliness is vital. I'm a pharmacist, so I speak from a medical standpoint. You got to cleanse the wounds and what have you. And we've got so many wonderful human beings give up of their time, and we pick up the refuse or a lack of better word and what have you. And by the way, we welcome membership, and you do not have to make any long-term commitments. If you are the type of human being that wants to help other human beings, the Rotary Club, and of course there's the Optimist Club as well. Those are the type of organizations I strongly encourage people to join. It's so sad to see so many needy people that just really need an outreach hand. And the Rotary Club has got 35,000 clubs around the world. 1.2 million members. You can go anywhere in the Rotary Club and rotate. And that's what it's all about. Yeah. And of course, music is phenomenal in terms it's an international language.
It is.
You can go anywhere in the world, and as long as you can read the notes and you're talented, you can make a musical world.
And it's therapeutic too, Mike, because it helps people not only, as you said, connect with people from all different walks of life. And we have so many people from all different walks of life here in our community, but it also helps them to express themselves too. So what about music and particularly inspiring music appreciation has motivated you to continue that effort with the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield?
Well, first of all, anyone that's out there that wants to join up with us, Steinway Gallery has been a phenomenal supporter, and there's concerts all of the time. And I'm in love with a four-line poem about what music can do for people. Music speaks what cannot be expressed, soothes the mind and gives it rest, heals the heart and makes it whole, flows from heaven to the soul. I mean, that expresses the power of music. As I mentioned, being a pharmacist, I've dealt with a lot of people who have, unfortunately, have dementia. Do you realize music can actually bring out whatever strengths they still have in their mind? And that's why I'm so excited about being involved with so many ways to reach out to people, to help them in their daily lives, and also in a spiritual way. And of course, music is so powerful in terms of bringing back memories. They've actually found ways that many times music, for someone who has signs of dementia, if you play the type of music that they were raised with, it suddenly brings a sparkle to their eyes. And it's such a wonderful feeling to know that you've made another human being appreciate life that much more. You know, there's a great line that I like to quote from Emerson's poem about success. And briefly paraphrased, it's to grow a garden, to make the world a little more beautiful, to help raise responsible citizens if you're a parent, but above all, to know that you have made another person's life breathe easier, you are a success. And I welcome anyone out there that, especially if they're retired and they want to really feel good about what they can accomplish. Everyone has got a great talent. And the sad part is they are never given an opportunity to bring that talent out. And that's what the Rotary Club is all about. And music can make that whole experience so much more wonderful. That's why I'm really excited about being about the Rotarian. And I really was so flattered that I was being recognized by our current president, Raman Singh, who actually is Indian. Our next upcoming president is Jewish. So you talk about rotating from people to religion. We're there.
Yeah, and reflecting all elements of our community and all the many cultures and many different backgrounds that come together to make Greater West Bloomfield the very diverse and very close-knit community that it is. If you're interested in joining along with Ike and the whole team at the West Bloomfield Rotary, you can visit them on westbloomfieldrotary.org. Ike, before we let you go, your final thoughts on getting that recognition, not only from your fellow Rotarians for your service, but being around so many people in our community that value that service, that have shown their ways of taking whatever talent that they have or whatever time that they have, the heart that they have, and giving it back. What was that moment like for you as you soaked in the 52nd Annual Michigan Week Awards?
It was just wonderful to be in that kind of atmosphere, and it sort of inspires you and really makes you glad that you are able to make a difference. And I'll tell you, if you have any down days or what have you, by all means, join up with the Rotary Club or even the other service organizations. We've got them great. It's so easy to make a difference in someone else's life. There's a great saying I like to quote that in terms of that as far as the world is concerned, is that you can actually be the world for someone who is sort of floundering around, frustrated in their life. So by all means, rotate.
Absolutely. We've learned a lot of great lessons from you and from our other volunteers over the years who have made such an impact on our community. Ike, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. It's been a delight to be on.
Yeah, glad to have you on as well, Ike, to talk about your work in the Rotary Club and of course, to get your approach to all the work that you're doing as well. Thank you so much for joining us. westbloomfieldrotary.org is the website if you want to learn more information and about all the different ways that you can participate in the Rotary Club of West Bloomfield and their efforts all across the community, all throughout the year. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a short break. On the other side, more news, information, and interesting conversations to have about everything going on in our community. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Live, local, and social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft, joined as always by Kevin McIntosh. And Kevin, as we get more people back outside, they're going onto our tennis courts and maybe even onto some local pickleball courts. Pickleball, all the rage across Greater West Bloomfield and across the nation, and so aptly named a new facility coming into West Bloomfield Township at the Gateway Center, Pickle Rage, set to open very soon, and it made some big progress earlier on this week, just yesterday, freshening up their new location on Orchard Lake Road, putting in some of their graphics and their signage on the wall, including some QR codes. So if you're driving by the Gateway Center, if you're in there doing some shopping today or over the Memorial Day weekend, you can scan that and get even more information. And it will provide a great opportunity, too, for people to, all throughout the year, play this game that they love in a dedicated place for this, indoors, temperature controlled, and get better and better at pickleball right here in West Bloomfield.
Yeah, pickleball, it's a new sport for me. I'm not too privy. I was just learning, I think it's racquetball.
Yeah.
When you're inside the room and you against the wall, I think there's racquetball. So now I have to learn pickleball. So I'm not too privy of it. I'm a sports and athletic guy, so I'm always open to playing and doing anything. So I'm excited. I did see the news about them progressing in the stage of opening up the facility. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, we'll keep working at it, trying to get them on the program and talk about it more as they get closer to that opening day. But hey, that one step closer is here. You're going to start seeing more and more of that facility coming together, and maybe sometime this summer we'll have some pickleball indoors here in West Bloomfield. Both indoors and outdoors. One of the oldest clubs in the state of Michigan is celebrating a big anniversary, an historic anniversary for Detroit Archers, as they are now celebrating their 100th year of service in the local area. And many of those, most of those, have been right here in West Bloomfield off of Drake Road between Walnut Lake and Maple in West Bloomfield. And look at this cake. 100 years, and this is quite the impressive little treat they had there. A couple of these cakes celebrating and commemorating their 100th anniversary, posted on their social media earlier on this week. And you know what they say, Kevin? Social media is for posting your food.
Okay, that was a good one, Ty. I wasn't expecting that. But hey, can we say congratulations and happy anniversary to the Detroit Archers, a club that I just became privy of not too long ago, but I think is so cool. I did archery a little bit in some of my college years, but not too good at it at all. I call it the Robin Hood Club. I just think it's one of those things that's just so sweet. It's like working a slingshot or something if you're like really good at it. So I don't know, man. I'm just always very I don't know what's the word, intrigued by archery. So congratulations and happy anniversary to the Detroit Archers. 100 years, man. That's a long, long time, baby.
Yeah, big accomplishment for them. Congratulations to their entire team. Founded in 1924 by Art Young, and then their first president, also a co-founder, Fred Bear, and now plenty of their leaders over there. We had a chance recently to talk to Kevin Marshall. We had our own Jake Schaff go out there to explore some of their outdoor archery opportunities, and they do a great job also inviting people in to learn about the sport if they're interested. You can learn more and celebrate their 100th anniversary on their Facebook page as we speak at Detroit Archers INC, at Detroit Archers Inc. on Facebook for more information. Kevin, we speak about history. One of the most iconic historic locations in Greater West Bloomfield is, of course, Apple Island, nestled in the middle of Orchard Lake. And coming back this summer are Apple Island tours with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Joining us now from the Historical Society is Anna Smith to tell us more. Anna, give us some details on what's coming up in this year's Apple Island tours and what people can learn about this historic location.
Apple Island is a unique treasure. We call it the Jewel of Orchard Lake. But essentially, it's a 35-acre island out in the middle of Orchard Lake, formed probably around 10,000, 12,000 years ago. And it is rare for an inland body of water as small as Orchard Lake to have an island as big as Apple Island. We know that, it was inhabited by Native Americans as far back as 2,000 years ago. And then after that, when white settlers came to the area, there was a string of owners who inhabited and lived on the island. They would summer there on occasion, bring their friends and family along. And in addition, Apple Island had a lot of draw outside the area. People would come to see. There were a lot of legends spread about the island. Hotel owners in the area back in the early days of West Bloomfield township settlement would sort of spread these legends and rumors, and this added to the allure of the island. And it really has this sort of mysterious air about it, especially given that it's been uninhabited by people for many decades now. It's been a woodland sanctuary owned by the school district since 1970. So really, Apple Island Tours is sort of the best way for people to be able to experience the island themselves and sort of see what's so alluring about it, what makes it have that draw.
That's a really interesting point, and a key point about Apple Island is that since the 70s, it has been owned and overseen by the West Bloomfield School District as a nature sanctuary. So people don't live on the island. People aren't frequenting the island on a regular basis as they have throughout history, both from white settlers and owners of the property on the island over the past century or so before the school district had taken ownership of Apple Island, but even going back into our indigenous populations that had even used Apple Island as a sort of meeting point between many of the different waterways in our local area. That's what makes this such an interesting place, because there's history on that island. There's bits and pieces of our history that we can see there. And so, what makes it so that people should want to go out to Apple Island and explore that? What's left of there that really makes this an interesting exploration for people in our community?
Yeah, absolutely. There is, first off, a lot of nature on the island now. It's uninhabited, so plants and flora that that have been able to flourish on the island that sometimes it's hard to see on the mainland. So you can go see that. As well as that, there actually are a few apple trees on the island now. They were planted back in 2018 by some second graders in the West Bloomfield School District, and I believe that there are a few that are still growing, trying to get strong. So those are a sight to see as well, because as you know, there weren't apple trees on the island for some time before those were planted. So that's a really great sight to see. But as well as that, we do still see evidence of the people, the settlers who lived on the island when they owned it. There are a lot of there's evidence left behind of cottages that used to be on the island. You can see where the foundation would have been. As well as that, you can see old wells that used to be used to, get water on the island. So there really is, you can see traces of the people that were there before. And I think it's something that's very important to see for people in the community to understand what life might have been like, both on the island, but also just, in a time period before where we are now.
Anna Smith is with us from the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society as they get ready for their Apple Island tours happening on Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th on Apple Island, all through the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Learn more information on their website at gwbhs.org. And it's been a few years since these have happened. COVID-19 had an impact on, of course, getting people out there in close proximity. Then there were some other issues beyond that. So it's been a few years since we've had these tours. Now that they're coming back, how has the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society been preparing to not only bring these tours back in general, but to make them more immersive, more interesting as we go into this new era of these tours?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we really have been trying to get a good group of volunteers together. We have our great presenters, Miquan Donjul, Janot Pakour, as well as Mark Hook, who will be on the island sharing stories, things about their culture, as well as sort of updates and sort of a history of archaeology on the island and the various digs that have been done. So that's something I think that, it's important to go on the tours because that's something that's so special. You get to see during the tours these fantastic presenters sharing stories and really sort of adding to the unique experience that you get on the island. In addition, we are trying to make registering for a tour easy for our members. So we're doing something new this year for 2024. GWBHS members will actually be able to register and purchase tickets for their tour spot in advance. You can find more information about that through our website. Individual level memberships can purchase one advance ticket, and every other membership level can purchase up to 6 tickets. So that's something that we're really excited about. It's our first time doing it, and we're hoping that our members take advantage of it. You can select the time that you want to depart for your tour. And yeah, we're hoping that this will be a trend that continues into the future.
And so as you're seeking volunteers, a lot of them are going to be members of the Historical Society that are already familiar with Apple Island and will be leading these tours. But other volunteers are also needed to help out in what is a pretty massive effort for the Historical Society doing these each summer. If there are volunteer opportunities available, how can people get involved?
Absolutely. Please contact us at the museum. You can email contact@gwbhs.org, or you can call the museum. It's 248-757-2451. You'll be in touch with me. I'll be coordinating the volunteers for this event. And yes, as you said, for such a popular and sort of large event as this, we do need a large team of volunteers as well. And even if you're not familiar with the island itself, we have plenty of positions available both on the museum grounds, which will be open. The museum will be open. We'll be selling snacks and gift shop items, and there will be lots of activities going on at the museum, including you could wear a historical costume and, stand in front of our doctor's carriage and create a photo op for guests. We have our archaeology activities box. You can manage that and let kids dig around for various items. So really, it's an all hands on deck thing. And if you have never helped out with this event before, now is a great time to get involved as it's coming back for the first time in 5 years.
And as we get ready for these Apple Island tours, there's plenty that happens to help maintain the island outside of these tours throughout the year. We know that the Historical Society and the West Bloomfield School District are consistently in collaboration on Apple Island. Outside of these tours, what are some other ways that the Historical Society collaborates with the school district and with the community to maintain Apple Island and preserve this piece of history in our community throughout the year?
Yeah, absolutely. So the school district and the Historical Society as well do a great job of maintaining the trails on the island and making it so that it's safe when guests do arrive. We do collaborate with the school district and we're bringing back the Apple Island visits for second grade classes this year. So that's going on through this month. And I know that they're very excited to get back out on the island. They've got a lot of activities planned, and it's great that the Historical Society can sort of facilitate that visit for them. And we're very thankful that we're able to have this partnership and make Apple Island available not just to the second graders, but also to the public, because it is sort of Apple Island Tours is the one time a year that people really can go out to the island. So we're very thankful to the school district for allowing these tours to happen.
More information can be found on the Apple Island Tours happening on Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th on gwbhs.org. That's also the place you can go to learn more about getting in contact with the Historical Society for additional volunteer opportunities and more events all throughout the year. Anna, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Tyler.
Always the fun time out on Apple Island. Something that people have been looking forward to getting back to over the past several years. Took a hiatus, of course, because of COVID-19, and then a couple years as they rethought some of the way they go about the Apple Island tours and get some more resources to make it happen. gwbhs.org for more information on that. And Kevin got some more fun coming up in the city of Sylvan Lake. The summer music is making its way back to the prettiest little city in Michigan in just a few weeks with the return of the Still Sunsets concert series. A post by Kelly Krause on Facebook yesterday in the Sylvan Lake What's Going On Facebook group announced that they have plenty of sponsors and music patrons for 2024's lineup, and announced what we call in this industry a teaser. They're going to announce that calendar of shows and musicians today. So stay tuned. If you're not on the Sylvan Lake What's Going On Facebook page, now is a good time to get on that. And of course, we'll keep you updated as we learn that information as well on Friday's show and early on next week. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. 4 shows down for the week, 1 more to go. Stay with us online on civiccentertv.com, on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, and YouTube at Civic Center TV. For our entire team, Calvin Brown and Anthony Juba at Master Control, I'm Tyler Keefe alongside Kevin McIntosh. There you go. I saw that high five in the 2-shot, Kevin. There we go. That's it for our show today. We'll be back very soon.